Hey, it's me. Back at it again with another Sketchjam. It's been a while. So like every year I decided to make something for New Year. So like this year is the year of the pig, so I decided to draw something for it. And here's the thumbnail. This is the initial face I did for the drawing. I explored the eye shape, how the brows would shape like instead of these. This is the costume design. Then it's a more refined thumbnail. And then we have the sketch, the actual sketch. I found a lot of reference online, so I put it in the mood board. That's how I usually do to make a piece, like an art piece. A lot of artists do this kind of thing. So I'm inspired by the game Okami and how my line art want to be like brush like, because it's, you know, like it's Chinese. And then like the costume, how the eye shape will look like. I already have a mind of what I want. I just search it for reference. Right now I'll be tracing the sketch I have to the canvas, which is like a watercolor paper, because the medium I'm using now is watercolor as usual and ink. I'm really used to digital because of my assignments, but I'll try and get used to it when it comes to traditional art. Like I'm used to it if we are talking about line art in traditional, but for watercolor I'm kind of rusty since I have never touched. Since I haven't touched for like months, I guess, because like I feel like coloring on digital is way easier than using traditional, because you can change the color that you like, that you want, and you can like see whether the color looks nice or not. I mean, you can make color thumbnails, which I did on digital, but I would just prefer digital because it's easier that way. And right now I'm preparing for watercolor, so like I just put masking tape on it. Before I stick it on the canvas, I just put it on my skin, put it on my arm, and to take away some of the stickiness, because I don't want to like just peel off the paper when I'm peeling it off. You get what I mean? Like if you work on watercolor with masking tape, you know what I mean. And then I cut away some parts that I still need to paint. I start with the skin tone as usual. Just put the base color and then put blush, because like I like to put blush. Now it's just make her look more energetic and like healthy. For the outfit that she's wearing, always red because New Year. The costume that I gave her is actually like something, I don't know what's called in Mandarin, but it's just like undergarment back in the days, like back in China. It's actually for kids or like for women, for the undergarment, like bra or something. But I feel like it's kind of cute, I guess, like a bit, how do you say, like adolescent feeling. It's hard to explain what I'm thinking sometimes, but just you get it. after the skin tone is dried, I just shade as usual. Since the light is facing in front of her, so like there won't be much of the shadow. And you can hear that like there's fireworks when I'm like working on this piece. Usually people like are outside celebrating while I am at home in my room drawing, because like why not? Right now I'll be painting the background in red. I know it's the same color as the outfit, but like if I line it, it should be fine, because I saw some artwork, like even though their characters' clothing are kind of like similar as the background, you still can focus on what you're looking at. So I'm just experimenting at this point. And then I'll be peeling off the tape, which is very satisfying when there's no tears, that is. When I was painting the background, I forgot to record that I was using a masking fluid, which is like masking tape, but it's just fluid and it will dry into like plastic substance. You just peel it off. It smells really bad. It's like a rotten egg, so like just cover your mouth or like nose when you're working on it. And then I'll be painting the hair. For the hair, I go with white and red gradient. At first I was going with black, but then I think last year the character that I did was black hair, so I'm like, maybe I'll do it white this year. And then I'll be painting the horns that she is wearing. It's like an accessory. And then I just put a blue gradient because I feel like it will contrast the background, so it will stand out a little bit. And then just color the little parts that's connecting the horns, like necklace-ish. And then I'll be continue painting her clothes. The character on her outfit it means pig in ancient Chinese, I guess, or like it's just... Actually, I was going with the modern character for pig, but then I just feel like maybe ancient Chinese sounds nicer, you get what I mean? So like, yeah. And then I'll be painting the boar's accessory or like clothing. It's just like I was googling something and I saw this beautiful like ancient Chinese neck accessory or something, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So like, I just put it in. Great. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Then I'll be shading the pig with actually I kind of regret not using like reddish shadow, reddish undertone, because it looks kind of like dirty-ish, like because I was using black and I mixed a lot of water to create this kind of color, and I was like, it looks kind of boring though. But then I can't change anything because it's not on digital, so I just stick with it. I do add a bit red to kind of neutralize it, to make it more like not boring, I guess. For the piglets, I just straight up using like reddish shadow, like not too red, it's just, you can tell it's a bit reddish. Right now I'll be adding the makeups on the boars and the piglets. This is directly inspired by Okami at this point. It's just, I just really like the design, like the red and white contrast of the animals, like they put the makeups on it. I know it's Chinese, but then like, I just don't know, I just put Japanese elements in it. I hope this is fine, but yep. And I just add the tails. This is freaking like Okami at this point. Like, look at this, like I'm adding like brush. It kind of looks like brush like from the game, but I just think it's kind of cool, so I just put it in. And to create this kind of effect, you just make sure your brush is kind of dry. It's not wet at all, because it's kind of hard to make it. Just make it dry and just flick it. And right now is my favorite part, lining. Since I really like the line on traditional, not digitally, so I really enjoy this process. It's really relaxing, I guess. It's just because I'm using brush, so I have to like control like how thick and thin the lines will be. So like, it's just, I don't know how to explain. You just go with the flow and look at the reference. Like when some part is like it's cast, when some part is cast on the shadows, you just make it thicker. Is how you say it. Some part is thinner is because like the lights are cast on them, so it looks thin. And then like I just flick to make it look like he is running. Sometimes when you're like drawing something kind of like how to say, it's kind of long, like what I'm doing right now, you just take a deep breath and you just like go with it. You don't breathe. You just hold your breath and you just draw it until you think and until you finish that line. It's just to not make your hand shake, I guess. That's how I do it. And then right now I'll be lining the other piglets. As usual, I just add a flick to make them look like they are running. And like you can see some parts that are like completely black. It's because like that's the shadow. Like to make it more bold, I guess, is like more graphic. That's the aesthetic that I'm looking for this piece. And I really like to just put black shadow on it because it looks dynamic. It kind of reminds me of Persona, or like some graphic art that I really like, so I just put it in. And I just save my favorite part at the last, which is the human character. I just take my time on the hair, some parts, and like my favorite part is actually the face. This like a lot of artists' favorite parts, I guess. Unfortunately, like my hands are blocking the whole thing. I was like, why would I? How do I shoot this? It's so freaking hard. I just put my camera on top of it. Maybe I should shoot like to the right side next time, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Actually, I feel like I kind of forgot to look at the reference that the lining reference that I'm looking for, I just go with the flow, just go with the way I line. It should have been more thicker, but like I think it's okay. I can always go back and just make it thicker anyway. After this video, I mean. Personally, I feel like the pose can be more like extravagant. That's how you say it. But then like I just if like the pose is very like dynamic, I can't show her outfit, so I decided to make it that way. And then right now I'll be adding more details on the boar's accessory, which this one I just like look at some reference and I just mindlessly just draw it out, just kind of relaxing, chatting with my friends, you get what I mean, on Discord, just draw it. And then I'll be adding like some I don't know how to say it, but it's just like some Chinese knot accessory thing on this cloth, on this fabric. I'm not sure what it's called, I just draw it anyway. I also add more details on her clothing. I just mix the red I'm using with some brownish color, with like dark brown, not brownish color. What the fuck am I talking about? Okay, and then I just add makeup on her face. Again, my left hand is blocking. I'm like, when I was editing, I was like, what am I doing? I can't see what am I doing. So right now I'll be using this gold ink. It's just a normal gold ink, and I just put more details on her clothing. Like when the light shines, you can just see like the gold shining. It's something very extra. I just like to add extra things like it. It's Chinese New Year, guys. Leave me alone. And then I just add more on the boar's accessory as well. This part I did not look at the reference. I just do it whatever I feel like. I just put like gold on the dark parts of the accessory, like the blue color. And there I'll be doing something extra, which is carving something like a I'm not sure what it's called, but like seal or like name stamp or something. I crafted with the eraser that I don't want, and it's actually like my first time, not my first time, it's like my second time carving something like this. I think my first time was when I was 14, I guess. Like it was an art assignment back in my middle school, and I kind of liked it, and I can't remember how to do this, so I did it, whatever I have. And then I did not have like stamped ink, is how to say it. I used watercolor to paint on it, and then I did a few tests before I stamp on the real artwork. It's kind of shit, but I try my best. It can be better, but it's just I don't care. Just stamp it, and I can fix it with brush, and that's what I do. That's what I did. And that's it. And I cut it with like paper cutter. Yeah, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Me narrating this thing, it's really awkward. I have no script. I just look at the video, I'm just like talking right now. So thanks, bye, see you where I see you. There's a sketchbook tour coming soon. See you. Bye.